Ba, ba 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 ba. That's before I could get going with what we gonna do today. Plus, it was a long weekend, man. Yeah, I enjoyed myself this weekend. Now I gotta shake that dust off. Hey, what's up, y'all? Today we're back with this week's workout. I'm gonna describe it in a moment, but before I get started, I just wanna thank you, especially those of you who have been really appreciating these videos. You know, Chris and I haven't been doing the head-to-head hardcore train videos lately because I've been recovering and so forth, but I've still been working out, and for you to join me in my intimate little workout has been a pleasure. I enjoy showing you what I'm doing, and I enjoy speaking to you between the sets. So today, we're gonna do a focus on posture full body workout. When I say focus on posture, that means every single exercise is the same as it always would be, but my focus and concentration is on three things mainly. Maintaining cervical extension, just keeping a really nice long neck with my shoulders down. There's always a tendency to want to shrug and hyperextend. What I'm going to really do through each one of the exercises is to focus on lengthening the back of my neck, keeping my shoulder blades down and together, and one cue is to keep your ears as far away from your shoulders as possible. So I'll be focusing on keeping my neck posture solid. Also, thoracic extension, thoracic extension, thoracic extension, what I always talk about. That's always supported by anything where you've got supinated hands or external rotation at the upper arm. And again, it's the shoulder blades. Almost a good cue is to almost think about taking your shoulder blades and tucking them into your opposite back pockets. Boom, this one goes into that back pocket, this one goes into that back pocket. Boom, tuck them down. Now, what often happens is what you do to change the posture of the upper body will affect the lower body. And a lot of guys who focus on, you end up with a nice long neck and the shoulders down and back will hyperextend. So the third place is to make sure that the hips are always tucked under, right? That way you have a neutral spine from the lumbar up through the thoracic right into the cervical. So we're gonna begin with overhead squats. I'm gonna cheat today with my overhead squats and my single leg squats by using my Olympic lifting shoes, keep my heels elevated. It's challenging for me to maintain a neutral spine with flat feet. By raising my ankles, I eliminate the fact that I have tight ankles, and my overhead squats will be that much more integrous. Overhead squat, Hindu push-ups, a time under tension type push-up that requires you to focus and concentrate throughout the entire portion of the rep, because it takes about 5 seconds or so to do a rep. Band face pulls, that's gonna be my first superset. By the way, a lot of volume. I love the variety of exercises, and this is probably gonna take like an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Then front squats, alternating push-up, Superman push-up, you'll get to see that. Standing cable rows, again, all focusing on posture and core strength. Single leg squats, like I mentioned before. Medicine ball, pick and throw. I threw a couple explosive exercises into this routine just so I can get that, I'm addicted to exploding. So although I'm focusing on posture, I'll be able to pick shit up and throw it. Integrated cable rows, so again, focusing on posture, but it's an integrated movement, so you'll get to see 2 or 3 different compound movements tied together. Kettlebell squats, step-ups, crossover push-ups, Swiss ball, single leg Swiss ball curls. I'll see how many I can do. I've been really elevating my Swiss ball game, and going into single leg curls is gonna be challenging. Inverted rows, alternating explosive push-ups, like I said before. Finally, last superset, we're gonna go Swiss ball leg curls without the single leg. We'll do double leg, supinated inverted rows. So instead of doing it this way, turn the palms up just to get a different stimulation, and integrated cable push. Hope you enjoyed this workout. I hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you in the gym. Even though I spent a good 45 minutes or so corrective stretching before this workout, my ankles never seem to be able to give me the mobility that I want. Maybe there's something I'm missing. So my hips feel lined up and strong, shoulders, everything feels pliable, strong, able. But by putting these on, I eliminate the fact that my ankles still have a tendency to be my limiting factor when squatting. Now, I'm not that bad, but it could be better. That's why today I'm focusing on posture, cheating just a little bit. My tendency is to sit back on my heels and let my ass fall all the way back while hyperextending in my low back and the lumbar. That's just my default form. When I'm doing these, what I'm really focusing on is driving my knees forward and keeping my ass as close to my feet as possible. I don't want it going all the way out there. Again, that's just based on my structure. And then go straight back. Focus on keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Boom. Trying to do, I don't know if you noticed, when I get to the bottom position, right before I come up, I tuck my butt under. You'll see my knees spread. That's activating the glutes. Really the weakness, oftentimes with guys who have that hyper extended low back, anterior pelvic tilt, one of the weaknesses is actually the glute maximus. And by tucking under, you force that complex right up between your upper hamstrings and your glutes. You can imagine, right up under here, right here, to be activated, turned on, right? Just like you're banging, come right into that banging position, come up, keep it all extended. You don't want to be a half banger, right? You want to be a full banger. Although I'm focused on keeping my chest up, what you might not notice is that my hips, I also, especially as the bang gets closer to me, I want to focus on keeping my hips tucked under, you know? Like I said before, changes in your upper body are reflected in your lower body and vice versa. So just because you're focusing on one area, don't allow your consciousness to be removed from other parts of your body. Be mindful of your entire body when you're training. Even if you're doing a bicep curl, you should know what your abdominals are doing, you should know what your feet are doing. Learn to feel your feet even when you're lifting with your arms. Type of concentration elicits your entire nervous system to support whatever exercise you're doing. It's really a full body exercise. A bicep curl can become a full body exercise if you're cognizant of your feet. Are you standing with toes spread, feet flat on the floor? Or is one foot more contracted than the other and you're rolling over to the side on the other one? Focus on your entire body. That way you elicit all of your power, even for a simple grip exercise or a bicep exercise. Now mind you, it will require a lot more energy and you'll fatigue a lot faster, but now you're sacrificing quality for quantity. Just an invitation for you to try every once in a while. I really believe that the fastest way for someone to enhance their character, change who they are, and there might be a better version of you, and you might be cognizant of that, is to begin with your body. I don't care if it's body images or psychological issues that you're you're dealing with it, whatever it is, if you want to better you, begin with the body. That's why I do fitness. That's why I do a fitness channel this way. Even though I have a personal development channel, this is just as or more important because I do believe that the body is the mind. Change your body. Learn to breathe. Learn to elicit your entire nervous system to produce one movement. You're turning on parts of your brain. It requires mental focus, concentration, and expansion. Really, it's mental expansion when you go into your body and you feel your entire body and you exercise not with just the isolated movement, but with everything else going on. Now your mind is literally has to expand its reach throughout your entire nervous system. And with that, you have a more expanded consciousness. Just consider consciousness is where you focus and concentrate on. If you focus and concentrate on all of what's going on in you, you've expanded its capacity. Doesn't mean you've reached enlightenment, but it means you're exercising expansive thought through your body. The strongest version of yourself is already here. It's just a matter of recognizing and accessing it. Exercise is the best way. But exercise isn't limited to barbell lifting, yoga, body weight training. An exercise could be teach yourself how to play an instrument. Teach yourself how to construct Lego models. Teach yourself how to carve wood. Teach yourself to integrate your mind with your body to develop a new skill in any way, form, or fashion. Learn how to do hopscotch. I tell you what, when I have very deconditioned people come to my gym and I first teach them how to skip or to jump rope, their brain, I literally see their brain through their body trying to figure out what's going on. You teach someone how to skip rope, you increase their expansiveness. Learn something new. You tend to be very athletic and very adaptive to exercise routines. You should be trying new exercise routines. Do you understand? Try something out of the ordinary, something that will require you to expand your consciousness so as to absorb the motor engrams or patterns associated with something brand new. This is why sitting meditation is so powerful, because the skill in meditation is not to do anything. How difficult would that be? Okay, so. Whoa! See, look at that! My brain is having to do all kinds of expansion. Try this one. I'm getting smarter with each rep. Bang! Look at that! Bang! I'm fucking around. Focus on the posture. Fatigue's a stabilizer. I try that one more time. You see, that was very challenging for me. Try one more time that side. If you're bored with your exercise routine, try something new. Sometimes your boredom is due to the fact that you become too intelligent for your exercise routine. Throw elements of challenge into your exercise routine and you'll expand your intelligence. Look at children in classrooms where they're not stimulated. They're very quickly labeled as behavior problems. And it's not that the child has a mental condition, it's that the child is sick. The child is bored and can no longer focus and concentrate because the threshold of their intellectual stimulation has not been reached. Try it with your exercise routine. Something looks like if something's too easy, stop doing it.
lot of times people will counter my assertion that the body is the mind with an example of a physically crippled man with a brilliant brain, right? And this is a valid argument, especially if you don't understand what the processes of the mind are, and that the processes of the mind are only a portion of it is found up top. There is a significant portion of intelligence also found in the workings of your visceral system, including your heart, your digestive system, your entire root system. So when I say intelligence, I don't mean how quickly and accurately your linear reasoning is. That's one piece of a triad. A human being has essentially three brains. It has a neocortex, which is highly functional in its linear thinking, but it also has a mammalian brain, a brain that is associated with the heart. Monkeys have a mammalian brain. They understand communication, they have compassion. And then you have a reptilian brain, which is the brain stem, which is associated with instinct and gut reactions, sexuality. And to consider that our intelligence is only the linear processes of the neocortex or human brain is to deny what many of you call yourselves being a beast. A true beast understands the language of his heart, follows and respects it, and also has a big old hand on his nuts because he trusts his balls, his gut, his reptilian processes. So when you come to me with this half man who is very bright in the linear sense, respect, but only in one way. There are three. This triad shows up in so many ways. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, neocortex, cortex, medulla, id, ego, superego, trinity of what makes a human being balanced. We're three in our intelligences. In our intelligence, one thing. We are one intelligence. You know, we like to fragment ourselves through materialistic reductionism, thinking of ourselves as parts. But I like to look at us individually as a whole. But what I'd also like to consider is that we are one with our environment. If I wasn't one with the grass in the fields that feed the animal which feeds me, if I were to think myself separate from the grass or separate from the air, which condenses into grain, which fertilizes the grass, which feeds the animal, which feeds me, and if I were to separate myself from the microorganisms in the soil that support the grass and its ability to grow through the rain that feeds the animal that feeds me, I'd be a fool. A man out of his environment is no man at all. Even when we travel to the moon, what we have to do is bring a canned version of our environment up there. We are the earth. We are our environment. We are no less earth than the tree. We're intrinsically linked to it and everything in it. And we're very intrinsically linked to one another. My ramblings of my conscience don't end right here. It doesn't stop right here. It's coming into you. And however you choose to receive it, you are receiving me right now. It might be stimulation of excitement that will move you to take action in some particular way, perhaps with exercise. It may constrict your energy because you're so offended by the things that I'm saying because I don't present myself the way you've been conditioned to be able to receive things. Some people might do. Feel it in your body. Feel in your body where I'm stimulating you or where we're being one mind. Because if your heart races through my stimulation, if your asshole tightens up and your fist balls up and you want to punch the screen, that's our mind. We're doing this. I am not separate from you. In fact, you could be miles away and you're stimulated by my energy. And the man next to you, and the man next to you, and the man across the world, the same thing. We are one thinking organism. We're one thinking organism here, and we're one thinking organism collectively. What happens in you happens in mankind, happens on earth, happens in the cosmos. And the cosmos is pressing itself against us as well. What's happening in the cosmos is happening in you individually, us collectively, and through the earth. Think not yourself separate from anything. The only thing that is separate from all this are the ideologies and the abstractions of the human imagination. But even that becomes a reality. The word becomes the flesh because we feed it. I feed the idea of strength camp with my consciousness, focus, energy, resources, and it becomes a reality. Which abstractions serve you and serve others are the ones that I would say perhaps are more resourceful. Your abstractions are of depression, sickness, sadness, disease, violence. Then you're simply of a contrasting consciousness from me. We are still one. Oh, a lot tougher on this side. I've injured this foot and ankle a lot of times. If I do this, again, it stimulates external rotations coupled with thoracic extension. I try to maintain this the whole time so I don't shrug up, especially on my way up. See how my foot wants to collapse? Boom, see that? That's a core weakness that comes from a distal injury. So the body works from distal to proximal, meaning the core, and from proximal to distal. So I've broken this tibia, I've had turf toe on this, and I think a lot of the imbalance is due to that. It's because of a core deformation I was born with. I was born with a pubic symphysis, whatever, where the pubic bone doesn't match. It looks like this. So I've got one leg shorter than the other. I think this foot is taking quite a beating, but at the same time, I've injured this acutely so that the faulty recruitment patterns for compensatory movement patterns move up into my core. So I really have weakness in my glute on this side, and my hip flexor and adductors tend to take over. So a lot of times when you say, oh, you have fallen arch, or your arch is collapsed, or you have flat feet, really it means that you have a muscular imbalance in the hip that doesn't support external rotation of the upper leg, right? And I know that that's the case for me. So when I go down into my single leg squat on this leg in particular, you'll notice that my foot collapses, but also my knee dives in. So I know next week I'm going to spend a little bit more time early in the workout with the unilateral stuff, because all my stabilizers are fatigued now, and I really have to work to keep this foot from collapsing. And I feel I have to twist my upper body a lot. I'm doing a lot of things to cheat for this damaged leg. You know, if you ever believed that Elliott was perfect, well, let me disappoint you. Look at that, I have to do all types of shit on this leg. So, you know. is all sweat. Let's see what I got in here. Ooh, ooh, look at that. Boy, I tell you what, if I would have squeezed out my shirt like this 2 weeks ago while I was fasting with no water, this would be a dry ass shirt. That's why my nervous system was all fried. It was overloaded. Look at that. Still coming off my hands.